In this video, we're going to go through on Henry Park Primary School 2024 Preliminary Examination Mathematics Primary 6, Paper 1, Booklet B. Ooh, let's get started. Okay, question 16 over here. So find the value of 8 divided by 4 over 5. Okay, so for this, what we can do is, uh, basically we can convert the 8 into a fraction. So it's 8 over 1. Okay, so when dividing by fractions, you multiply, right? Divide, you change it to multiply, and then after that 4 over 5, you're going to flip it, so it'll be 5 over 4. Okay, so now with this you're able to do some cancellation, right? So you can cancel 4, and then you can cancel 8, right? So 4 divided by 8, this will become 2. So in this case over here, what do you think the answer will be? So it just be equal to basically 2 times 5. Okay, and from there, the answer is equal to 10. There you go, 10. Okay, let's move on to question 17. Write down all the common multiples of 6 and 8 that is or less than 50. Okay, so common multiples of 6 and 8. So 6, you have 12, 18, right, 24, 30, 36, and then 42, 48, and then we won't go after that. Okay, for 8, we have 8 and 16, 24, then 32, and then after that we have 40, and then we have 48. Okay, so now we can see what are the common multiples. First, I think we can go for the 8, so it's easier to see. So 24 is one of them, and then what's next? We have 48 as well. That's it. So the answer to this is 48 and 24. Da-da-da, da-da-da. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Okay, so that's the answer. The answer is 24 and 48. 24 and 48. Okay, let's move to the next question. Question number 18. Express 5 kg in 60 grams in grams, right? 50 kg. So recap, 1 kg is equal to how many grams? 1000 grams. And then 50 kg is equal to 50, or 50 times 1000 equal to 50,000 grams. So 50 kg, 50 kg, 60 grams, is equal to 50,000 plus 60, which is equal to 50,060 grams. So that's your answer, 50,060. Okay, let's move to the next question. Question number 19. So the number of children at the swimming club in May, June, and July was in the ratio 4, 5, and 7. There were 336 children at the swimming club in May. What was the total number of children in the swimming club in June and July? Okay, so May, we have 4 units. June, we have 5 units. And July, we have 7 units. Okay, in this case. So, we also know that May, we also have 336. So that means 4 units is equal to 336 children. Okay, then we also want to know what's June and July, right? So June plus July is equal to 12 units. So 12 units, okay, June and July is 5 plus 7, 5 plus 7 equal to 12 units. So 12 units, okay, is basically 336, or 3 times 336. Okay, so we're going to do the calculation. 336 times 3. Okay, so what is 6 times 3? It will be 18. Okay, we'll put 1 over here. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10. We'll put 1 over here. 3 times 3 is equal to 9 plus 1 is 10. So it's 1008 over here. And there you go. So that's the answer, 1008. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question number 20. 4 small squares are shaded in the figure below. Let me draw the squares, because this square ain't it. Okay, we have one square. Okay, and then we have two squares, and then we have three squares, and we have four squares. Okay, so I'm gonna draw this maybe in red. Okay, so shade two more squares in the given figure so that it has a line of symmetry. So what is the line of symmetry, you might ask? Okay, so let me just tell you this. The line of symmetry is in the middle over here. Okay, so because that's the easiest. I mean, it's not the easiest, but from the looks of it, you have one and one, right? So you have this. Okay, I'm just gonna put one, one, and then you have one over here. Okay, so that means I'm gonna put my one is in green. So the other one should be this, right? Oops, this is one. Okay, so the other one that I'm gonna put is in green. So this will be it, right? This will be in green. So this is one. So this will be, I would say two lah, right? Two or three, two. Okay, and this is two. Okay, let's do one more, which is this one, which is wait, sorry, the line symmetry. So they should be here instead, not here. Okay, and the last one will be here in this thing over here. Okay, so this is three. I shouldn't make it in red, and this is three. That's what you see over here. Okay, there you go. So that's the answer to this question. So line symmetry, not line of reflection. Okay, so this is what it should look like. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question 21. Okay, so okay. 21 says the table shows the heights of plants A, B, C, D in January and February. Find the ratio of heights of plant B to plant C to plant D in January. So plants B, C, D. So B is to C is to D. Okay. So B, C, D. So B is 10 is to 12 is to 18. We can divide this by 2. So that means if we divide this by 2, let me just put here, it will be 5 is to 6 is to 9. Okay, so we always need to simplify, right? So divide by 2. Okay, this is how I usually, no, I mean, this is how I usually like to represent it like this. So you just divide everything by 2 like this. And there you go. So the answer to this is 5 is to 6 is to 9. Okay, let's move on to part B. Name the plant with the greatest difference in heights between January and February and find this difference. So you want to see the difference, right? Okay. So okay, I'm just gonna put like this, right? So A is equal to 35 minus 9, which is equal to 26. B is equal to 29 minus 10 is equal to 19. C is equal to 41 minus 12, which is equal to 29. And D is equal to 37 minus 18, which is also equal to 19. Okay, so what do you think the answer is? The answer is C, okay, with the difference of 29 centimeters. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question 22. Peter had two pails, each containing 1,200 centimeter cube of water. He poured all the water from both pails into an empty tank with no spillage. The tank had a square base of the side 20 centimeters. Find the height of the water level in the tank. So let me visualize it for you. Okay, so it looks something like this. All right, so two pails of 1,200 centimeter cube, and then 20 centimeter of a square base. So square base means length. Square base means length is equal to breadth. Okay, so now we just need to get total of two pails. So 2 times 1200, which is equal to 240 centimeter cube. Right, so now we know the total of two pails. The next thing is we can just get the height, which is equal to volume, and then divided by base area. Okay, so height would then be equal to, the volume is 2400, and then divide by the base area is 20 times 20. Okay, and oops, this will then become 2400, and then divided by 400, which is equal to 6 centimeter. Okay, so that's the answer, 6 centimeters. Okay, so I'm just gonna put it, oops, gonna put it down like this. Okay, all right, let's move on to the next question. Question 23. Mutu had 5 identical containers. Each container was filled with the same amount of paint. After he used 420 milliliters of paint from each container, the total amount of paint left in all containers was equal to the amount of paint in 2 containers at first. What was the total amount of paint in 5 containers at first? Okay, so we look something like this. 5 containers use 420 milliliters each. Basically, what is left, right? What is left is equal to 2 full containers. So, what was the total amount of paint in the containers used? So, can you think how we can solve this? So 5 container use, what is left is 2 full containers. Does that mean 5 containers use 402 milliliters each? That means instead of 2, it will be 3 full containers. This is full containers of paint left. So that means the opposite is the same, right? 3 full containers of paint used. Right. So for this, that means 3 containers, right, is equal to 3 times, no, 3 containers, not 3 times, 5 times 420 ml, right? So let's do that. So it's just 42 times 5. Okay, so with this, 2 times 5 will be 0. Then we'll put 1 here. 4 times 5 is 20 plus 1, 210. So it will be 2100 milliliters. Okay, so we want to find the amount of paint in the 5 containers. So 1 container is equal to 2100 divided by 3 is equal to 700 milliliters. 5 containers is equal to 5 times 700 is equal to 3500 milliliters. There you go. So that's the answer. Okay, so yeah, that's it. The answer is 3500 milliliters. Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next question. Question 24. It says here, during a sale, a shop sold t-shirts at a discount of $15 per t-shirt. Right. Members were given a further discount of 25% on all purchases. Elaine is a member and paid $216 for such t-shirts. What is the price of each t-shirt without any discount? So first, we know that 6 t-shirts, okay, is equal to, let me put like this, $216. Okay, so we want 1 t-shirt. Okay, so 1 t-shirt is equal to 216 divided by 6. Okay, so we have 216, and then we divide this by 6. Okay, and what would this give us? Okay, so 21 minus 18. Okay, right, that's the closest. So minus 18 over here. So what gives us 18? 3 times 6. And then after that, this will then give us 21 minus 18 is 3. And then we put 6 down. So minus 36. This will be 36. So for 1 t-shirt will be dollars equal to dollars 36. So this is basically after discount. So after further discount, right? 1 t-shirt after further discount. After member discount. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, so for this, that means 1 t-shirt. Oh, Ooh, one t-shirt percentage after member discount is equal to 100 minus 25 is equal to 75%. So that means 75% is equal to $36. Dollars 36. Okay. So 100%, okay, is equal to 75. So basically this is three quarters, right? And then 136. Okay, the simplest one, right, is just 25%. Okay, so in this case is 36 divided by 3 is equal to $12, and then 100% is equal to 12 times 4, which is $48. Yeah, hacks. Okay, so now we know that this is after member discount. So the original price, we left with the last one, which is basically 48 plus 15. This will give us $63. Okay, so that's the answer, $63. Here you go. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question 25. Jack's home, class home, and their school are located in a square grid. Then right down here, north, south, and then we have east, and then we have west. Okay, so now in what direction is Jack's homes from Claire home? So Jack's home from Claire home is this. Okay, let me just move this over here, make this red. So north, south, east, west, it should be northwest. Okay, northwest. Okay, all right. Part B, a market is located at the southeast of the school and northeast of Claire's home. Put a X in the grid where the market is. So the market is southeast of the school. So market is southeast of the school. So this is southeast. So somewhere here. Oops. Let me put an arrow like this. Somewhere here. And then and northeast of Claire's home. Northeast of Claire's home. So around here. Okay, so that means the direction that we are pointing to is this one. I'm just gonna put like this. So X marks the spot. That's it. Okay, let's move to the next question. Question 26. Right, find the value of the breadth of rectangle, which is this question mark. So question 26, to do this is basically we know the length is the same. So 4y plus 20 is equal to 60. So for y, would that be 60 minus 20 equal to 40? Y is equal to 40 divided by 4, which is equal to 10. So then that's the y part. Then the breadth is equal to 2y minus 9, or basically 2 times 10. Oops. Minus 9, which is 20 minus 9, which is equal to 11. So the answer is 11 meters. Okay, let's move to the next question. Question 27. Okay, Zizan used three identical three-quarter circles, circle radius of 28 centimeters. So I'm going to draw here. Wait, 28 centimeters. All right, so some part of the circles are overlapped. Find the perimeter of the shaded part. All right, so for the shaded part over here, it's essentially the same. So I'm gonna draw a dotted line, right? So this one over here, right? Let's see if I can, in a way, draw something like this. Okay, it's the same as this dotted line as well, right? Like this. Okay, so with that said, okay, this is also the same. Okay, so actually I should put different what do you call this? Different colors so that at least you know that what I'm doing is roughly the same, like this. Okay, so in this case, this yellow, blue. Yes, blue. The blue part, the shaded red highlighted part is the same as the blue part, which means we can just calculate a parameter of a 3/4 circle. That's it. There you go. Okay, so from here, I think what we can do is that we can get the 3/4 parameter circle, parameter circle is equal to 3/4. And then let's see what we need to do. 22 out of 7. So times 2 times, and then pi, and times radius. So the radius is, we know that it is 28 centimeters. So let's go here, 3/4 times 22. Okay, times pi is 22 out of 7 times radius. So let's double check. Radius 28. Okay, so multiply this by 28. Okay, so over here, we will just calculate this first. 22 out of 7 divided by 28 is basically this whole thing, all right, times 4. Okay, so, yeah, and then we can cancel the 4, put red and cup. Okay, cancel the 4 with this as well. Okay, so this will then become 3 times 2 times 22. So let's do this. 66 times 2 go to 132. Okay, 66 by 66. Yeah. Okay, 132. So there's a 3/4 parameter, and then we add shaded area. So for this, it's gonna go like this. Okay, so the 4 and 4 black. Okay, so yeah. All right, and then the last thing that I want to do is shaded parameter is equal to, so this parameter, right? Parameter shaded part. Okay, 132 plus 28 plus 28. Because we only got the, what do you call this? Oops. We only got the shaded area, which is the circular one, but we also want to get the this thing as well. So this 28 and 28 as well, right? This arrow is 28 as well. I'll just put like this lah. Okay, so that means we just need to plus 28 together. 132 plus 28 is 160 plus 28, which is equal to 188. There we go. So that's the answer, centimeter. This is centimeter. So the answer to this is 188 centimeter. Okay, coming close. That's it. Let's move to the next question. Question 28. Ashley baked 500 cookies. 5 of them were chocolate cookies, 1/4 of them were butter, and the rest were raisin cookies. She sold 2/5 of the raisin cookies. How many raisin cookies did Ashley sold? So chocolate is equal to 500 times 3 out of 5. Okay, so in a way we can cancel the 5. And this one will be 5 also. Cancel. This will then be 1. Okay, like this. So this will then become 100 times 3 will be 300. Okay, then next one is butter is equal to 1 out of 4 times 500, or basically 500. Okay, it's 500 divided by 4. Okay, so 500 divided by 2 is divided by 4, which is basically 500 divided by 2 divided by 2. So that means it's 250 divided by 2, which is 125. Okay, then that means raisin is equal to, so it's like using a lot of hacks, which works. Okay, resin is basically 500 minus 300 minus 125, which is 200 minus 125, which is equal to 75. Okay, and then resin sold. So resin sold, okay, which is basically 2 out of 5 times 75. Okay, which is basically 75 divided by 5 times 2, which is 7 divided by 5 is 15 times 2, which is 30. All right, there you go. The answer is 30. Hex. All right, let's move on to the next question. Question 29, part A. The square grid shows line A and B. AB is one side of the trapezium ABCD with ABC 90 degrees and AB is parallel to CD. AB is parallel to CD. Okay, so BC and CD are half the length of AB. Okay, draw the trapezium ABCD. Okay, so I got a ruler and the ruler corners are 90 degrees. So what you can do is you can start creating the perpendicular line BC over here, right? Okay, so we will just put it like this first, right? At the end of the corner. So this will be C over here, right? So now we can just add the parallel lines as well. Okay, that's what you see over here. So how do you calculate a diagonal line? Basically, you just need to know how many what do you call this squares they use. So in this case, this is 6 squares, and this is 2 squares, right? So this is 2. So that means your lines should be half of 6 and 2. So that means this should be 3. Okay, 3, and then this should be 1. Okay, what you see over here, right? Oops. Then this should be 1, right? Like this, right? So that's basically what it means by half of the length. Okay, so ABC, so BC is half the length of AB, ABC and CD is also 3 is to 1. So from here, to get a parallel line using rulers, right, or any what do you call this? Straight instruments, I guess that's what they call them, instruments. So from here, when you want to draw a parallel line, then you can use two rulers together and then you just drag them out like this. Okay, so now the next thing is we want to know 3 is to 1 for the next line because CD is also half the length. So what you can do is you can draw another line first and then you can erase later. So this is the rough gauge of this. Okay, and then from here you can measure how many squares you use. So for this, let me just put like this over here. This will be 3 as well. So this is 3 and then this is 1. Okay, so that means this is exactly where we want to be, and the last part is to just draw another line across. That's what you see over here. There you go. So that is how you draw ABCD as the trapezium. Okay, in this case over here. All right, so let's move on to the next part, part B. All right, so EFG is a parallelogram with the same parameter as trapezium ABCD. Draw a parallelogram such that it does not overlap with the trapezium ABCD. Okay, so basically to calculate or just basically to draw something that's a parameter, you calculate the different sides that each of the part of this trapezium takes. So it looks something like this. So the total, right? Total squares is equal to, if you count 6 plus 4 plus 2 plus 2. So this is 10, 14, and then 14, then 18, then 22. So 22 in this case. So that means this, what do you call this? One side of parallelogram takes 22 divided by 2 equal to 11. Okay, so what this means is that you just need to grab, for example, maybe like this, right? Two sides. Oops, let me draw a line. So two sides over here. Okay, so you have one, you have two, okay, and then you have one over here. So that's three. Okay, two and one is three already. And then after that, you can draw 2, 1, 3. So we can maybe draw 6. So the length of 6, right? Or I'll just take this lah. Length of 6 over here. So 6. So 1, 2, 3. So 2, 1, 9. And then we have 2. So that means we'll grab it around here. 2 is here. Okay. So that means the next point should be at this over here. So we can, whoops. So 1 plus 2 plus 6 plus 2, this is 11. 3 and 8 is 11. So that means we can draw the next point over here. And let's draw the line as what you see over here. Okay. And then we can draw these two lines across like this. Okay. As what you see over here. Okay. So from here, we already can draw the parallelogram, which is EFGH. Okay. In this case over here. So E, right? E, F, G, and then lastly H. That's what I see over here. There you go. So that's the answer to this. So this is how you draw EFGH. Basically, one side of the parallelogram is 11. Okay, so if you want to draw a parallelogram, you can use the two straight, what do you call this? Two straight instruments like this. Okay, and then once you have a point, right, like what you see over here, so align it something like this over here, right? Then you can just, let me just align this ruler. Whoops, what you see over here? No, align it like this. Okay, something like this. And then after that, once it's aligned, then you can just slide your ruler up until you can move to the point that you want to draw, and then you just draw it. That's what you see over here. That's how you draw parallel lines. Because once you draw like this and you know what's the dimensions, right? 2 is to 1, then you can just continue by drawing the rest. Okay, so that's it. That's how you draw this two, what do you call this? Two shapes. Okay, lastly, question number 30 says here in the figure below, PQUW is a square, right? So you see a square over here, and QRSV is a rhombus. QW is parallel to RT over here. Okay. So that means that's a parallelogram. QRS is 70, and WUS is a straight line. Find VRT. VRT. So VRT is this whole thing. Let me just draw a line over here. Okay, so how do we solve this? Oops, VRT is this, the red line, the smaller one. Okay, first is that we know, let me just draw maybe in purple that QRSV, right, is a rhombus. Okay, so we also know that the 70 degrees over here is one side of the rhombus. Okay, so that means the adjacent side, which is this over here, okay, we can just put RSV. So angle RSV, angle, right, RSV is equal to 180 minus 70 is equal to 110. Okay, so 110 degrees. Oops, go to 110 degrees. Degrees. So it's over here. Okay, so 110 degrees. Right, so I'm gonna put this in purple as well. Then to also not get confused, I'm gonna put here as 70, so this is easier to see. So 70, I'm gonna put it outside like this. Okay, so this whole thing is 70 as well. Okay, so now we know that this is 70, this 110. The next thing is, because we also can see that this triangle, this whole triangle, if we can get these two parts of the triangle, then we can get this. Okay, next thing is that we see there is a halfway line. Okay, so I'm gonna draw purple, but maybe in dotted, right? This dotted line, okay, over here. So angle VRS. So angle VRS is basically half of uh the rhombus, which means, which is also means that is also means half of 70 degrees. Oh yeah, degrees, which is equal to 70, okay, times half, which is equal to 35 degrees in this case, right? So is half of the rhombus also means that 70, 35 degrees. Okay, so half of this, let me make this into green as well, like this. So this, okay. So this over here is 35 degrees. Okay, that's what I say over here. Since we know this is 35 and this is 100, then that means this is also 35. Okay, opposite. So this is an isosceles. So RVS, okay, so V angle RVS is the same as VRS. Okay, is equal to 35 degrees as well. What you see over here. Okay, so this is also 35. Okay, so basically half a rhombus makes one isosceles triangle. Okay, that means we are 0, then 35 degrees. Okay, so now we know that this is 35 degrees. Okay, so the next thing is that can we get this angle over here? Right, where is this? Where is my, oops. Can we get this angle over here? How do we get this angle? So the thing is that we also know that QW is parallel to RT. So QW, so I'm gonna draw this out. QW is parallel to RT. That's what you see over here. Okay. So at the same time, what do you think this angle is? So this angle, right, is half of the the square over here. Okay. So PQWU is a not, yeah, it's a square. The QWU, so angle QWU is half of a uh, right angle or 90 degrees. So that means, which means it's equal to 90 times half, which is 45 degrees. Okay. QWU is bracket like this, right? Okay, so now we know that this is 45. This is 45 degrees. Okay, over here. So that means we can get, this is VTR. Okay, so angle, so QWTR. So QWTR is a trapezium, since QW is parallel to RT. RT over here. So that means uh, VTR, so angle, right? Angle VTR is equal to 180 minus 45. This will give 135 degrees. So I see over here. Okay, so this will then gives 135 degrees. 135. Okay, so now we know this angle and we know this angle. We can find our angle that we're looking for, VRT. Okay, so VRT is equal to, in this case, is basically 180 minus 35 over here, minus 35, right, to get this red one. So 180 minus 135 minus 35, which is basically 180 minus 170, is equal to 10 degrees. There you go. So that's your answer, 10 degrees. Okay, like this. Okay, that's about it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want more of this kind of video, subscribe down below and comment down what are things you want me to show you next. See you in the next one. Bye bye.